Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is March 22nd, 2022, and I believe this is episode 491. Today we're looking at Top Cow Image Comics #1, The Clay People Colossus. And the cover shows one of the clay people. It's a golem, one of the mythical creatures from the Jewish religion, usually made out of clay, and it was made to protect them from persecution. And we get this in this comic. This is a not recommend, unfortunately. It is a good deal, though, I must admit. It's 30 to 40 pages, and it's $3.99. Only a whopping $3.99 for that much content. So they're kind of doing the Spawn Todd McFarlane take on this. I actually bought this because I thought it was a World War II story. I did not flip through far enough into it, but we'll get into all that in just a moment. Let's go ahead and take a look at who worked on this. The writer on this is Matt Hawkins. He's also the COO of Top Cow, so if he sees this review, he probably will not hire me. The artist is Christian DeBari, the colorist is Simon Gao, and the letterer is Troy Petitri. I don't know if I said that right. Petri. I apologize if I did get that incorrect. They have Epitome here. I believe that's the name of the band from one of the lyrics for the song that they used that runs through the more modern portion of this. Like I said, I thought this was a World War II comic, and I'm always interested in the sci-fi World War II stuff, mythical, whatever. I'm reading Out, if you're familiar with that comic. I believe it's a Vault comic. And I think I'm 3 issues in on that one, which has been kind of interesting. It's got its problems too. But this one starts out pretty good. They've got like the armed forces, the Americans have gone into Dachau. They've found the remaining prisoners there. They're trying to help them save them. And I guess they actually executed people that worked there. I'm assuming this is based on fact. Some of the German officers and soldiers that were killing the people at Dachau, that they were executed immediately there. I don't know if that's true or not, but according to this comic, it is. It might be just part of the fantasy story. Now, diving deeper into this, they find one prisoner that talks about the leader of the camp that went into a vault and he disappeared. And they broke open the vault and they find him torn in half. And there's this clay golem behind him. And they say, I wonder what happened. They have no idea. But the prisoner sees a book there. He goes ahead and takes it. It is an old Polish text from the 15th century that it has apparently a recipe on how to make a golem. Okay, now we go to today, and this is someplace in the Midwest, I'm guessing. And we've got an Army brat here, or an Air Force brat, I'm not sure which one. But his mom works for the military, and he has been moved there. So he's hanging out this small town. He's got, I guess, a sister is supposed to be, and he's bugged by these 2 guys. They're supposed to be in high school. You can see they're much larger than him, and yeah, it's a typical bully. They happen to be not only white supremacists, but also pretty much serial killers. They've killed like 4 or 5 people. And so he's and they go to his high school. So he's in a rough spot. They're of course picking on him because he's half Jewish and half Chinese. So you've got the anti-Semitism. You got the white supremacy going on there. The Nazis, because I guess they are Nazis too somehow. Because they wrote a SWAT sticker on a piece of paper, and they're just bad guys all around. So you've got all those modern cliches going on, those tropes, if you will, for this. Now, it would have taken about 10 minutes of research to see who is doing most of the Asian, the violence against Asians right now. And though the media is spelling out it's white supremacist, it's actually not. And it's hugely not. I mean, it's not even close to being the white supremacists that they're always building up here. You can see that they're at school here, and he's actually carrying a gun as well. So he hears some noise, goes in to investigate in this abandoned building after he's gotten beat up, and he finds this dead guy. I don't know if he says he's been shot or not, but he found some stuff, and this is a plot that kind of doesn't go anywhere. It just kind of he picks up something and just kind of leaves it, I guess. Then he goes home and talks to his dad about him getting beat up, and his mom comes home, and you can see she's concerned about him being beat up. Why don't you go talk to your grandfather? He was in a prisoner camp of the Dachau. He can maybe help you and cheer you up a bit. And this is where the prisoner from Dachau gives him the book that has the recipe to make a golem. Okay, so unfortunately the grandfather finally passes on at age 94, and you can see everybody's very sad. And the bullies keep going after this half Chinese Jewish boy. Okay. And you know what? The same thing against the Jewish faith. I have nothing against the Jewish faith, but I don't really think it's all these white supremacists attacking the Jews in the cities and whatnot. I think all you need to do, once again, is go on Google and see who's acting out the violence on this. And that would have made a more interesting story in that aspect, especially since some of these groups are now being investigated for fraud. Stealing millions and millions of dollars. Anyway, he builds his own golem. He figures out how to work the thing, and it just so happens, everything is just so happening here that the bullies are back. He gets them really infuriated, and he gives them the gesture that he's going to shoot him. So they go off. He goes off with his friend Dwayne to look at the golem that he's made. Just wanted to show him. And meanwhile, just happens to be just outside where they are, they're terrorizing and killing a homeless man, the two bullies from school. You have to drop a lot of suspended belief for this thing. His friend gets shot by stray bullets and dies, so they've actually killed two people. This incites him to finish the rest of the recipe for the golem. And the golem goes off and knows exactly somehow where to go in this. He doesn't even have to tell him. He just knows, I guess, from his thoughts, and directs him right to the police station where the two boys are being questioned about the death of the homeless man and also our friend Dwayne's killing too. And they just say, oh, we just heard gunshots. They're acting all innocent. And the sheriff's believing them when the golem bursts through and just knocks everybody over. But in the meantime, grabs the sheriff's son's friend and just crushes him. You can see him being crushed there. He was one of the accomplices in this serial killing spree, and then grabs the son and does the same to him just after he confesses to all the killings and whatnot. And we have the sheriff survives. They go to the family, and they just say that, we found out what happened, and the boys killed each other, and here's your shoes back that my son stole from you. And so it has a very satisfying ending, and it's based around Matt Hawkins has a friend in this band. I think they're called Epitome or the Clay People, something like that. Now, Matt goes ahead and gives us a nice blurb here about what inspired this story. It's actually, I remember being bullied as a kid. I lived in Washington. I lived in California. I had bullies in both places. They usually were older boys. And I always remember just running for my life, basically, not hoping they would get killed or anything. But apparently they ran into some really mean Nazi, white supremacist, gun-toting, everything that's, the trope that everybody uses now in the mainstream comics as well as mainstream media. So it was a boring. Basically, it's boring. That's why I can't recommend this. Started out pretty good, but it failed to deliver. Then he talks about the band bio, the Clay People. I can't remember whether Epitome was the name of the song. I can't remember. But there you go. Here is Matt Hawkins. You can read about him. If you want to pause. And here is Christian DeBari. You can read about his credits. I want to pause there. And Simon Gao. And now we have a little blurb for St. Mercy, Volume 1. Obviously a trade now available out of Top Cow. And also the complete Cyber Force Volume 1 coming out in June 2022. That is one busy drawing there. Wow. A lot going on. Just soak all that in. So there you have it. A pretty long book. A pretty good value. It just misses. Now they are hinting that there will be more, but we'll see if that comes about or not. Now for free, you can go ahead and read the novel that I'm writing called Alliance of Strangers, Raiders of Kelnir. It's available to read for free, at least the first 20 chapters, on Booksy. So I'll put a link in the description below. As always, thank you very much for stopping by and watching this comic review of The Clay People, Colossus. As always, please like, please dislike if you wish. Please subscribe if you haven't, and you'll feel free to leave comments. We'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.